Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cutting straight through the hype and unpacking the reality behind modern software development. We're zeroing in on Sparkout Tech and taking a hard look at their approach to global, cross-platform, AI-powered development. We're going to separate those flashy, futuristic promises from the actual practical application. Let's get into it.
Okay, build once, run everywhere. This has literally been the ultimate tech holy grail for years, right? Just imagine a totally seamless ecosystem, a place where a single application doesn't just, sort of work, but operates flawlessly across this massive digital web of connected devices. No more building everything completely from scratch for every single new gadget that hits the market. You probably remember the days when a killer app would launch exclusively on iOS, and all the Android users were stuck waiting 6 months or even a year for a buggy, ported version. Well, that fragmented, painful approach is exactly what this methodology solves. It is a total game changer for the economics and the sheer speed of software engineering.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, the cross-platform vision. Second, inside the developer ecosystem. Third, one codebase, multiple platforms. Fourth, solutions across every industry. Fifth, from idea to launch. And finally, number 6, future-ready global innovation.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the cross-platform vision, a connected digital world.
Picture a modern smart city, absolutely buzzing, powered by constant, seamless digital transformation. Now, in the context of Sparkout Tech, this transformation is really about linking smartphones, tablets, laptops, and desktops to support one single application operating flawlessly everywhere. And it's not just about, having isolated interactions with different gadgets. We're talking about absolute, synchronized unity across every single piece of hardware a user touches throughout their day. Think about it. You start running a complex data analysis on your phone while you're commuting, you smoothly transition to your desktop at the office without dropping a single frame of work, and then you present that exact same data on a tablet later in the boardroom. That continuous, uninterrupted flow, that is the defining characteristic of true digital transformation. Moving right along to Section 2, inside the developer ecosystem, Sparkout Tech expertise.
Look, traditional development has historically been a massive headache. You had fragmented code bases and completely isolated teams. This meant you were building one app for iOS, a totally different one for Android, and yet another entirely different one for the web. Different teams writing in different languages, just constantly struggling to keep all the features in sync. And of course, bugs would randomly appear on one platform but not the other. It was a mess. Sparkout Tech uses a unified approach instead. This is a highly collaborative, modern environment where developers, AI engineers, UI, UX designers, and cloud architects are all working simultaneously on the same cloud infrastructure. It completely breaks down those old silos. So rather than a slow relay race where a designer hands off to a web dev, who then hands off to a mobile dev, it's much more like a synchronized orchestra, and everyone is playing from the exact same sheet of music. To actually pull this unified approach off, you need a very specific, highly optimized tech stack. Under frameworks, tools like Flutter and React Native are absolutely the powerhouses of cross-platform design here. They let engineers write the code once and compile it natively, which means it runs with maximum performance on any device. Then for infrastructure, the whole system heavily relies on cloud-native architecture and deep API integrations. This makes sure the backend can seamlessly scale up the second you hit a massive traffic spike, and it can talk to third-party services instantly. And finally, automation. This is huge. Using AI-powered coding assistants alongside DevOps automation dramatically speeds up deployment. We are talking about fully automating those tedious testing and release pipelines. It pretty much eliminates human error and drastically cuts down your time to market. All right, Section 3, one code base, multiple platforms, the synchronization engine. So from one central repository, the code flows out and transforms into applications running perfectly across the board. Android, iPhone, tablets, Windows Desktop, Mac OS, web browsers, and even integrated smart devices. The whole shebang. Just think about the tremendous business value here for a second. Instead of trying to patch a critical security bug in 7 different, completely isolated projects, a developer just updates the master code once. Bam! Those synchronized updates push out everywhere, simultaneously. This guarantees feature parity. Your web users and your mobile users are getting the exact same shiny new features on day one, for sure.
This centralized methodology dramatically slashes maintenance costs and literally frees up engineering teams to focus on building new, exciting innovations instead of endlessly putting out fires in old code.
Let's pivot to Section 4, Solutions Across Every Industry, Universal Applicability. Now, you might be thinking this is only for one specific type of app, but this centralized code-based methodology really scales across the entire economy. It natively supports fintech, healthcare, e-commerce, logistics, education, travel, and highly complex enterprise operations. Whether you are building a super secure banking portal where airtight data encryption is literally everything, or a massive global logistics tracker that has to communicate with a driver's mobile phone and a dispatcher's desktop in real time, Sparkout is utilizing that exact same cross-platform foundation. So the takeaway here is that the underlying engine remains incredibly efficient and uniform, while the outer application is perfectly tailored, totally industry compliant, and built to solve very specific business bottlenecks.
Section 5. From idea to launch, the glowing roadmap.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the high-tech concepts, but how do we actually ground this into a rigorous, predictable business process? It goes down in 5 distinct steps. Step 1 is strategy and UI/UX. This is where you do the deep requirements analysis and interface design to make absolutely sure the product is solving a real problem. Step 2 lays out the architecture, picking the right cloud servers and data structures so it won't crash when you scale. Step 3 is the heavy lifting, development and AI integration, where that unified codebase actually gets written. Step 4 is quality assurance, rigorous testing across all those different devices we just talked about to ensure it's flawless. And finally, Step 5 is deployment and ongoing support. It's a structured end-to-end journey. From the drawing board straight to the App Store, absolutely nothing is left to chance.
And finally, Section 6. Future-ready global innovation, business growth.
So why go through all this rigorous methodology in the first place? Well, it's about achieving tangible, global scale. Just imagine live analytics dashboards lighting up all over a digital globe, showing user engagement everywhere, all seamlessly connected by robust cross-platform and AI-powered software solutions. That futuristic smart city vision we talked about, it isn't just some sci-fi pipe dream. It is a present-day enterprise reality, and smart businesses are leveraging it right now to absolutely dominate their markets. By utilizing a single codebase, these companies are rapidly expanding into new territories and launching on new devices with just a fraction of the overhead that traditional development would have required.
Which brings us to a rather provocative question. Is your business actually ready for the global AI-powered future? Really take a hard look at your own technological roadmap right now. Are you building an agile, unified system for tomorrow? Or are you kind of still trapped in those fragmented, isolated processes of the past? Because the technology is here, the frameworks are proven, and the deployment pipelines are fully automated. Now it's just time to decide exactly how you're going to use them to scale. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep innovating.